you could be struggling with the imposter syndrome is, are you a perfectionist? So many times I think when we go for interviews and you're asked what's that one weakness you have, and many of us are usually quick to say that we are perfectionists, we like things working out perfectly, and that's why, you know, we don't do just anything because we want it to work out perfectly. So that's one sign you could be struggling with the imposter syndrome. And it says for perfectionists, they could do 99% of things right, but just one failure will make them feel as if they're total failures. So this is the first thing. There are people who really struggle with being perfectionists, in the sense that if they don't do something perfectly, if everything does not work out the way they want it to work out, it will make them get even depressed. They will get so stressed, they will feel so bad, they will feel like they are total failures. And one way, this is a sign that you're struggling with the imposter syndrome, because first of all, life is never a straight line. You will go through ups and downs. There are moments where you'll try things and you will fail miserably. So if you're the kind of person who will let failures cripple you and will let failures define the person that you are, then it will make you feel always like you're an imposter, in the sense that even when you're given a job to do and you don't do it perfectly, you will start to tell yourself, soon now they'll think I was a fraud, so they'll think that all the qualifications I have are not true, so they'll start judging me and start saying that I always praise myself and I don't do the job right. So that's a first sign. So if you're a perfectionist and every time you fail at something you always question yourself, or you always feel like you're a total failure in everything that you're doing, that's the first sign that you're actually struggling with the imposter syndrome. The second thing is experts. You see, there's people, for experts, those who will not try at something until they are sure, 100% sure that they'll do it well. And actually, this at some point, this used to be me. Like, I used to be the kind of person who would say, I will never start a business until I have enough capital, until I have enough expertise, until I've done my enough research, until I have. Here you find yourself, you have such a long list that will even prevent you from even ever becoming anything, because by the time you actually achieve what you want to achieve, it will take you so many years for you to get to that point whereby you're an expert. So even by the time you want to start that particular thing you wanted to start a few years ago, you'll probably have lost energy for it, you don't even have the psyche for it, and you don't even have the vision for it anymore. So there are those people who, that's the second type of people who are struggling with the imposter syndrome. People who will never do something until they're sure they're experts at it. And there are many people who struggle with this. The people who will tell you, hey, me, I will never get married until I know I have dated long enough for me to understand everyone and the way men act and the way the men react. That means you will spend so many years trying to understand these people, or trying to understand that particular business, to a point whereby you'll never even get a chance to even start that particular business that you're talking about. So that's the second kind of people. The third kind of people are the natural genius people. So these are people who they have to struggle hard to accomplish something, and this makes them feel like they are not good enough. So these natural geniuses are those people who, I don't know how to explain to you, for them to get something done well, they have to go a longer mile than the normal people. These are people who will spend, these are for example nerds, people who will spend so much time, for example, in a lab. Like for example, a scientist will spend so much time in a lab ensuring that something works out. Like for example, if they're looking for a vaccine, like these scientists who are working on the coronavirus vaccine, they will spend so much time in the lab to ensure that this thing has to work. You know, those people who say, even if I'm going to die trying, I better die trying. Even if I'm going to struggle all my life to be able to do. So yeah, those are the natural geniuses. They will struggle to get something done. It could take them ages, it could take them such a long time, but they are of the opinion that as long as I'm not going to get this done well, I will never stop. So the problem of struggling with this particular problem is that you will never know when to move on or when to give up the fight. You know, sometimes some battles are better off letting go than keeping the fight, because sometimes you'll fight so much that it will end up damaging you more than it could even build you. So being a natural genius could be very dangerous in that sense. So you will spend so many hours doing something that will drain you, that will make you a bitter person, that will make you not even feel like you're not even good enough even in the first place, as opposed to you would have changed course and done something that you'd have excelled in doing. So these people usually feel like, if I don't do this thing right, people will start thinking that in the first place I didn't have the capability to do it, or in the first place I wasn't even qualified to do it. So that's where the imposter syndrome comes in. When you spend so many hours doing something and then you end up not even doing it well, you'll start telling yourself, hi, yeah, people will start thinking, kumbe, I was wasting my time doing all that, and then that's where depression comes in, and then you even decide that you'll never even do anything else, because every time you do something you fail. So that's the third kind of person who struggles with that. The fourth kind of person is the soloists. Soloists are the people who want to do everything alone. These are people who believe that as long as someone helps me to do something, I will not get all the credit for it. And the moment you do, you feel like you will not get all the credit for it, you feel like nobody will ever acknowledge your work, and they will always think that you're not good enough, and they will always think you're a fraud. So that's where the soloist comes in. These people think that for you to actually be for you to be recognized, or for you to be acknowledged for being good at something, you have to do it alone so that you can shine. You know, when the spotlight is all on you and everyone's speaking about you and about the things you've done for the society or the things you've done for your family, those are the kind of people who struggle with this imposter syndrome. The people who want to get all the praise for themselves, and the moment whereby they don't get all the acknowledgement, when they don't get all the credit, they start to feel like they're not good enough, and they start to feel like frauds. So for example, you're in a project and you're doing a school project, and you want to be the one who is shining in the group. If people acknowledge the whole group and they don't acknowledge you as, for example, Sharon Ngugi, you will begin to feel like you're a failure, and you will begin to feel like you're an imposter. So that's where the soloist comes in. So these are people who, the problem with this is you end up not working well in a team. Like, people really struggle to work with you, and they never want to be grouped with you anytime there's a lot of grouping going on, because they feel like you're the person we will all work together the same way, we'll all put in our 100% effort, but you're the only one who wants to get all the glory. So most of the time you'll end up feeling so bad because nobody wants to be grouped with you, nobody wants to work with you in a team, and it will really, really eat up your self-esteem. The fifth and last kind of people who kind of saying that you could be struggling with the imposter syndrome are the superheroes. So these superheroes are the people who always work so hard to accomplish everything so as to prove that they're not imposters. Hey, these are people who will beat themselves up. Like, they will ensure that I have to, you know, those people, one of the signs that you're actually in the superhero thing is that probably you compete for everything and anything. Like, even with your friends, you make life a competition. It's never about everyone is sticking to their own lane and we are all competing against ourselves. You're the kind of person who wants to ensure that you can accomplish everything that you set to do. Like, if it's a to-do list you've done, you will be so hard on yourself, and you'll tell yourself, no matter what will happen, I have to accomplish this, you know. So you will beat yourself up anytime you don't get to accomplish what you've said you want to accomplish. You will feel so depressed, you will feel so discouraged, you will feel so you'll feel like you're a letdown. So that's the danger of being a superhero kind of person, is the fact that, first of all, you can, at times life happens and it makes you not be able to achieve the things that you wanted to achieve. So if you're this person who struggles with this particular thing, you will always be at a point whereby you're feeling like a fraud, because, for example, you've set out to do something and you've not managed to do it. So every time you'll always beat yourself up and you'll always tell yourself, I am not good enough because I had said I'll do this for my family and I was not able to do this. I had said I would finish my master's by the time I'm 25 years and I was not able to do this. You know, you have so many restrictions that even prevent you from living your life to the fullest. So those are the 5 kind of people, and I am sure that when you are watching this video, you are probably trying to place yourself at a particular place. And I just want to tell you that for you to actually get over or get past the imposter syndrome, you have to first of all acknowledge that you actually struggle with it, and you have to be real with yourself and tell yourself, okay, fine, amongst the 5 things, probably I think I'm a natural genius, or I think I am a superhero, or I think I am a soloist. So once you've done that is when you'll be closer towards healing and closer towards getting past this imposter syndrome. So in the final part of this series, I'm going to be speaking about ways in which you can overcome the imposter syndrome, and then actually no, I'll do 2 videos. One, I'll speak about my particular experience and how I got to a point where I actually realized that I actually struggle with this imposter syndrome thing, and then the final series will be how you can get to overcome this particular I don't know if it's a mental condition or it's a mental illness. Okay, it's not an illness. Illness is a big word. In order for us to actually heal, we need to be real with ourselves, and we need to evaluate ourselves and do a lot of introspect. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you really enjoyed, and I actually hope, why am I saying actually so much in this video? I don't even know. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've gotten to understand the kind of personality you have and the kind of struggle you have in terms of the imposter syndrome. So stay tuned. Please comment and tell me if you're feeling open enough. You can tell me what you think you are amongst the 5 types I've spoken about. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. We're so close to reaching the 1,000 mark, and I am super thankful for all of you who joined me on this journey before we've gotten to 1,000. And I promise you, one day when I'm at 1,000,000, I will never forget you. You guys are so amazing. Stay tuned to watch more videos, and let's keep growing and let's keep getting better at everything we do. Till next time, goodbye.